Okay, let's go.
Guys, welcome to Unapologetic Era. Here we go for episode... Do we even know what episode this is?
It's 3.
Or
Episode
4.
3.
I don't know.
We have 3 and a short, maybe.
We're glad you guys are joining us. Hit subscribe. We'd love to see what you guys respond to, what you guys love about us, and what you're unapologetic for, because we want to talk about it and engage with you guys.
We're unapologetic about having multiple names and not having an intro.
Yeah. Sorry. We got to wrap our brains around some of this, too.
My bad, not my bad.
Yeah.
We did want to jump off today with doing something that I've said I was going to do on my social media for a long time, which is a DM of the day. It'll be like a DM of the episode. And I will say that these DMs are unapologetic. Very.
On their end or?
On theirs. There is no shame in the DMs, especially on Facebook. It's like a special breed of person.
It goes back to, because Facebook, demographic-wise,
Older.
35 plus.
I know. What did I say? That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, so we're going to just jump right into that. If somebody has a really cute name, other than just like DM of the day, since we're not doing it daily, you are more than welcome to send us over a note. My creativity is just not happening there. But, so, our DM of the day goes like this. By the way, this was sent to me at 3:33 a.m.
He's a shift worker.
Oh, he did say it.
He's a shift worker.
He does explain that. All right, y'all get ready because this is a mouthful. MILF of the year definitely goes to you. Son of a bitch, I thought I had a thing for older women, but now I'm rethinking my level of confidence after seeing you, darling. Motherfucker, night shift isn't disappointing me so far. All right, that wasn't enough.
Let's start with, you don't even know this man.
Oh, no.
Never met this man. Don't know him.
Yeah,
not friends.
no, yeah, that is a good point.
Non-acquaintances.
Nope.
Never seen his face in your life.
If I have, I didn't know it.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Just
it.
a random.
He would have just been my waiter at Outback.
Yeah.
But he's not done. He says, and yeah, I'm definitely taking strained shots to knock you up if at all there is a chance. Shit. I'd eat your ass every day for breakfast.
Oh, so engaging.
Well, and that's how he left it.
He's got me now.
That's how he left it. And because I'm not friends with him, I didn't see it. So he had to come back again the next day. Wow, I'd say you're definitely a MILF, but I don't want to come off as just trying to fuck you. Using someone isn't part of my intentions ever. And then he gave up.
Oh, there's no effort. You just gave up?
That was a lot more effort than I normally get. He had intention there. He says he didn't have bad intentions, but he had intention. Correct. I mean, he told me exactly what he was going to do. Now, I don't particularly like savory for breakfast. I prefer sweet. But, his preference. But we didn't go out for that reason.
Was he cute?
I don't know. I don't know if I ever even looked at the profile. I mean, I'm sure I did, but all I'm saying is that's staying in my favorites file for, when I need an ego stroke.
I'm just going to use that and save it in my file and pretend it was sent to me.
I thought I had lost it for a long time because it's like a year old. And so I thought I had lost it. And I was like, man, I told my friends, I'm like, y'all should see this one because I get some DMs. I swear y'all, my forehead says, send me something stupid. But I get some weird DMs. And I'm like, y'all should have read this one about breakfast. And then I found it again and I was like, oh, it's gold. It's like gold. A little gold piece. With that being said, this person actually thinks this way. And this leads into us, like, you're not dating, but you still have to deal with a man on a daily basis. So you deal with man brain. Does this fall into some sort of weird type of love bombing?
Ooh. I mean...
Like, he's trying very hard and very heavy to win you over, and he's like, I'm so into you.
I think absolutely. Because this would fall into a category of sex. Because then he's like... when you're initially love bombing and it's hot and it's heavy and intense, and once he's got you where he wants you,
he's gonna eat cereal for breakfast.
Yeah, there's no more sitting anybody on my guy's face. It's done.
You're absolutely right.
So then he's done, and breakfast is served, and
And
it's
that,
over.
if you wanted to use that as an analogy for cheating, I would definitely go for it. And that fits with the love bombing too, because usually when the love bombing is done is whenever the other things start. And they do downgrade to cereal.
I prefer everything bagel, but it's got a hole in it too.
That's so funny. I love an everything bagel, the thins with jalapeno cream cheese. That's yummy good. But anyway, the love bombing thing and all together, I said this in one of our previous episodes that I hate the word narcissistic or narcissist because it's overused. Love bombing is too. So is gaslighting. Oh my gosh. So is gaslighting. But love bombing is a real thing. And so how do you know the difference between what's genuine love and somebody falling in love with you versus this love bombing of so hard, so heavy, so fast?
How do you recognize a manipulation and not a manipulation?
Is love at first sight real, or is that just love bombing?
I don't believe in love at first sight.
I don't either.
I don't think it's a real thing. I think there's a lust at first sight.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
a physiologically thing stirring up down under, without a doubt, when I
little chemical tingle.
see some men.
That's a little chemical tingle.
Oh, absolutely. That toxicity and that relationship is already tingling down under. But I just...
Does that mean, too, I need to run? If I'm tingling, does that mean I need to turn around and run?
Yes.
That's not fair.
If there's a tingle down under, you need to run the other way. The manipulation is coming. That's your physiologically body telling you to run.
You know what I just thought about? The ex that caused me a lot of heartache, there was a lot of tingling in the dating phase, which was a very brief and short phase before we were married and started a family. But there was no tingling. But I'm wondering if once we were married, I'm wondering if the tingling stopped because the red flags were popping. And that was like my physical or psychological way of saying, hey, pay attention. But I mean, I had told myself, you're made a commitment, you're in. And I was in. I was very loyal and very in. But the tingle was gone.
So you actually recognized it really early. I mean, like really early.
I remember sitting in the bathroom. I mean, we were already married, but everything happened really fast. But I remember sitting in the bathroom and going, either you're getting out or you're in. And I was pregnant. And so I said, you made a commitment in front of God, you're in. But I did not, I was so young. I was 21 years old. Like, I didn't understand that those things meant that I was in a not only a toxic relationship, but that was abusive in an emotional way.
Mm-hmm. But your loyalty not overlooked the red flags, but you were a loyal person into what your commitment was.
And I thought I was doing the right thing.
Right.
I thought I was doing the right thing, which, I mean, I wouldn't change what's happened because it's led me to where I am now and who I am now. And I am absolutely a better person because I have gone through that. But I remember the moment. Because I painted this middle bathroom, this electric blue that was so hideous. And then it had these neon green accents. And I remember sitting on the toilet.
That's horrible.
It was so bad. Well, I was 21, like decorating a house in the early 2000s. I think I used leftover paint from our business, which was those colors. But, yeah, I remember sitting on the edge of the toilet, and I was like, not the toilet, the bathtub, sorry. And I very distinctly remember having that thought. And from that moment on, I never looked back. I made the decision that I'm in. I made this commitment to him. I made this commitment to God. And I never thought again about leaving him.
Was there ever any point in any of the relationships, in love bombing, were there any of these grand gestures? Because that's what they do. They do these grand gestures that are just like, that you bring you in.
That particular one, it was, I love you right away. But it was the whole, I was so, I don't know if I was just really gullible or if I just really, craved it, but it was that, you're my person thing. You're my person. You're who God made for me. I don't ever remember using, the soulmate word.
Yeah.
But that would have been, a little trigger. Oh, we don't use the word. No, he was smart. He was really smart with it. And then I believed him until we were getting a divorce. When we were getting a divorce, even our friends were like, no, he would never. Oh, he would. So yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah. That was a major, the grand gesture wasn't physical. And that's where you and I are different, because your story is different in that sense.
Oh my God, there was so much sex. There was
There was that for me too. Yeah.
There was so much sex. Like from not day one, but there was a lot of sex, and there's a lot of grand gestures with sex, and there was, I mean, let's just be real. When the sex wasn't enough, there was toys, and when the toys weren't enough, there was other things, and when that wasn't enough, there was other things. And I think you experienced a lot,
But I
too.
didn't. And again, I don't know if it's just because I was inexperienced. Because you're right. You're absolutely right. And I had the same experience. The same experience. One of the grand gestures was, I want to have a baby. I want to have a baby. I want to have a baby.
Oh,
That was,
Jesus.
I mean, like, that may seem
That's a
extreme, but
that's
that is a grand gesture.
That is a lock you down. I have control now, and that is the ultimate.
But as a
control of
woman,
abuse.
I saw it as, oh, he wants to have a family with me.
Oh, he's brainwash.
Yeah. And no, it was his, like, to this day, he can control certain aspects of my life because those are my babies.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, yes, the sex thing was exactly the same. And now that I've learned and I've lived and learned, I recognize that the reason why it was never enough is because there's never enough for him. Because he's looking for something that a person can't fulfill. And no, I'm not about to get spiritual on you. That's not the direction I'm going. It's just, it's part of that, whatever that mental sickness is.
There's never a fulfillment for them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And they try to seek it in positive ways, negative ways, drugs, alcohol, working out. It doesn't matter. There's never going to be a fulfillment of anything.
When I was with him, I recognized, yours also, that he had an addictive personality. He recognized he had addictive personality. And I learned that a person who has an addictive personality may clean up in one way, but they still have that personality trait. So they're going to trade it from one to the other. So now they're going to become an extreme bicyclist, or they're going to become, a pool, whatever it is. Everything is to the extreme. By the way, they're going to burn out.
Yeah.
They're going to burn out on it, and they're going to move on to the next thing. And you are just along for the ride. Because if you try to join in, now you're competition, and how dare you?
Yep.
You sit back, you say how great you are, and if you can't handle that, then I'm going to replace you. I'm not telling you I'm replacing you.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to replace you.
Yep. And I would love to hear, because similar experiences with both of us, but I would love to hear someone else's story, because I've only really truly heard start to finish you and I. And it's like, we can't be the only ones.
No, absolutely not.
We can't. And it's just
Look,
baffling.
I have someone who's very close to me, that was very close to me on the male side of it, who's experiencing it right now. And I'm on the outside looking in, and I can see it all as plain as day in black and white. And it's very interesting to watch it being played out with the female being the manipulator. And this is an extreme. It's like your and I versions. Like, it's an extreme manipulation. This is not just your everyday controlling, manipulative person. It's to an extreme. That's been interesting. But there's nothing I can do. There's absolutely nothing I can do. All I can do is just stand back and watch.
Yeah, because there's only, it's the same thing. You see it. You can guide them in suggestion, but they're going to do
Well, what I've told them is, I know how you feel. I've been there. I know that you feel strongly the way you feel. And one day you're going to see what I see.
Absolutely.
And when that day comes, I'll be here to talk to you about it. In the meantime, they blocked me. But that is the truth. That is the truth. And I say 5 to 7 years. 5 to 7 years, they will come back around. They're going to be heartbroken. I mean, desperately heartbroken, because they're putting their entire heart and soul into this, just like we did. And I'll be there for them as a friend.
It's beyond heartbroken. It's going to be a devastation.
It is life. Well, we both have said it. We both have PTSD from that experience.
It literally will rewire your brain to something else.
Rewire your brain and change the complete direction of your life. I never, ever would have thought sitting here at 42 years old, one, that I would be getting to sit here and do this with you, but that I would be doing the things in life that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I told my mom the other day, because we were talking about, because I spend 1 week in Nashville every month, and I'd go back and forth, and it is work, by the way, people. But I told her, I said, if my family was still together and I had my boys all the time, I wouldn't, like, I would give it all up in a heartbeat to be able to just do that again full time. But my life was changed completely from someone else's actions.
And I'm the complete opposite. I would never go back.
Well, okay, I would not go back to him. Let me make that clear. Let me make that very clear. But if I could go back to being a mom full time.
Yeah. I would never go back to that scenario or even anything replica of any of that ever again. And I like having adult daughters now. I don't ever want to put that trauma
And I wonder
on
if
them.
because I have boys and you have girls is some of the reason. There are differences between you and I, because mine was more covert. Yours is more yours was more outward.
Yeah.
And so there is differences, but I have boys, and so do I see things differently because of that?
It definitely could be a possibility. Like the love bombing scenario and watching them in their relationships, of seeing what boys are bringing into them and those grand gestures, or hearing "I love you" from these boys in a way too
question
soon
all of it.
Scenario than I think anyone should be saying "I love you." I'm like, and I
But
don't.
how much of it is that just us being normal parents? Because I know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't know. And because, we've all been through therapy, all of us are in therapy except the people that need to be in therapy. Let's be real.
It's not just exes.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, I see love bombing in play in relationships on a constant basis. But like you're saying, there are people that just straight out block you when you start recognizing things and make it known in a scenario.
It's overwhelming, and when you're in it, you have been essentially brainwashed,
Mm-hmm.
and so you really do believe that they have your back, that they're the only person that truly has your back.
Absolutely.
Even if they're breaking your back, you consider that they will even tell you, I am doing this because it is going to better you.
Yep.
I am pushing you, I am bending you, I am molding you to be a better person. And you're like, okay, I don't want to be cocky, or like, I don't want to be arrogant.
Or ungrateful for what you're trying to do for me.
And they'll tell you you're
Yes.
being ungrateful.
Yeah.
So you try to adjust, and you're like, well, hold on, like, I don't want you to feel that way. So let me do this or let me do that, and it's never enough.
And then it becomes a guilt
enough.
trip. Like, why won't you just let me help you?
Yeah.
When you become any point of start questioning what's happening. It's like, why won't you just let me help you? And it's like, oh, you're right. You're just trying to help me. No, they're literally slowly manipulating you and brainwashing you into a different direction.
It is perfectly slowed down so that you never recognize. Mm-hmm. In hindsight, I see it all. And I think most people who've been in relationships like that do.
Right.
But, I mean, even whenever things blew up in my face, it took a minute when it blew up. I'll put it this way. When it blew up in my face, I immediately went into, you're absolutely right. I have completely screwed up. I have been a terrible partner. Let me stop anything and everything that's good for me to take care of you. And all that did was start breaking me down. Mm-hmm. And the more I broke down, the more they were able to push in.
It's a depletion of yourself that they're doing.
Completely.
They're depleting you, your character, your self-worth, to become and mold what they want you to be, so that
now I'm not going to fight them.
Yeah, so they can have complete control over you. Mm-hmm. And over 10 years, you're exactly what they want you to be after that.
Oh, mine happened very quick. Well, okay, so I was already controlled. I didn't know I was. I would have never admitted I was. I thought I had an equal partnership. I did not. He just very, very smoothly convinced me that I didn't want to have a social life. I didn't want to do all these things. But when it exploded in my face, I went from somebody who had decided to start knocking things off their bucket list because they were 30 and doing things for myself to completely and totally an empty shell of a person within, I don't know, maybe 2 months.
Wow.
2 months, maybe. Everything, morals and standards that I had had my entire life, I was throwing out the window. And I was like, all right, I'll do this. I'll do whatever I have to do. Guess what? The whole time that I was doing that, he was behind my back planning still his exit the whole time. Not during any of that time that I was giving up my soul, essentially, to try to better our relationship, was he doing the same thing. He was using that time to, I saw the physical list, make a physical list of things he brought to his attorney and said, this is why she can't have her children. He was breaking me down to just bury me.
You no longer had any value to him.
I didn't have any value to him before. Yeah.
No, but it reached the point that there was no longer value you had left.
Absolutely.
And there was nothing left to manipulate. There was nothing left to control.
All I was an aggravation or inconvenience.
You were a body in the house. And then it was time to move on to the next one.
And that became very clear with some of the things that he did during that time by using literally my body, using my body to, as like a toy. And no care or concern at all with how that was going to affect me psychologically or our children. Like, how is that going? Even though the kids don't know what's going on, we're their parents, we're their guides, and you're breaking half of that person down. Mm-hmm. To this day, I promise you, he still thinks he did the right thing.
Oh, absolutely. Well, guys, that's going to be our end of our next one. Thanks for joining us for Unapologetic Era.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's going to be
we will see you. No. Dun, dun, dun. We will see you guys next time. Thank you. Hit subscribe. Love you.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia.